everybody. This is Nod Dog, and I am here building for you. I might match this up with some separate audio, so I'm currently sick right now, and I had a shitty video the other day that I just didn't want to show. So, first of all, I want to go over what I've been doing recently, going to college, obviously. I go to a community college, so yeah. There's that, but just built this last episode, which was this episode, which was last episode, which was... Don't question it, okay? But yeah, so I just built this thing, but like I said, I was going to college, going to community college, and my teacher, who has, like, been an experienced rafter, apparently, she talks about rafting all day when we go into class. She complained that there was too much water to come into school because, you know, she's, like, professional rafter. She, like, goes on the river for fun. She's been doing this, like, for 20 years, and she was like, oh, there's too much water. I'm like, take out your raft. Raft in the school. And, so that's fun. She didn't email me back or anything. I just wanted to fuck with her. But tell me what you think when a teacher says they can't make it into school, and when they don't, like, order a substitute or anything, they just say, oh, I can't make it, and that's it. Because one of my art teachers did that, and by the way, there's no religious significance with these crosses. English teacher did that, and just tell me what you think about you paying for something that's thousands of dollars a semester, and they're like, we can't even make it. Well, no religious significance to me with these crosses, so. Like, it's kind of your guys' job to be there, so, yeah. When I used to work at McDonald's, I was there every day. There was no excuse. Like, I was there every single day I was told to come in. I don't care if there was, like, shit going down. If you weren't there, oh god, why? But, yeah. So there's that. Not too happy with my school at this moment, at all. But if you look up Colorado and you look up like 912, and you go 912 and you look up like Boulder, you could see why somebody would not want to, like, you know, get to school. Because the rain was coming down harder than I've ever seen in my life living here. And I've lived here for 19 years, and it was some pretty serious shit. And I gotta drive through that! Yay! And I drove through it. The teacher's like, no, it's too risky. Really? Really? How did I manage? There were other people there too. It wasn't just me who made it in. But first class was able to attend, but I have 3 classes that day and 2 canceled, and the campus was apparently closed. But nobody decided to tell me about it when I was at the campus. They didn't say, oh, the campus has been closed. No, nobody decided to tell me. Like, they didn't make a message or anything. They're just like, well, sucks for that guy. He's been here waiting 3 hours for his next class. So, that story. Another story is when I went canoeing. Well, this reminded me of another story. Where I went canoeing with my dad, and this was an unpleasant experience. Not because it was my dad or anything per se, but because it was about 100 degrees between the water and the air temperature combined. And if you have ever gone canoeing with such weather, I feel sorry for you. Like, unless you have like professional gear and like a wetsuit and like shit like that, you're gonna fucking freeze. Because it is cold as hell. It's been the coldest I've ever been in my life. I mean, I've walked in Colorado weather without a coat on when it was snowing. And it just since that experience. Like, I'm like never cold anymore. I mean, you can see why my dad really wanted to go canoeing. It was one of the good parts of his childhood, and you know, don't make me go through that shit if it's less than 100 degrees between the water and the air combined. Yeah, don't do that. I think that's like the legal limit with us unexperienced kayakers, yeah. He decided to put us in the same boat, me and my brother, two people who've never been kayaking before. And like, you do this to turn right, you do this to turn left, and there we were. Less than like half an hour later, I was swimming down the river, and I was pretty much freezing. I think the one reason I didn't have hyperthermia that day, or didn't get hyperthermia, is because I had this waterproof coat on. That probably saved my life there. But but I don't advise like going canoeing when it's that fucking cold outside. There's zombies everywhere. Oh, damn it. But to get on with my story is, yeah. So we decided it was a good idea to go canoeing that day, and for whatever reason, we really wanted to go canoeing. So we decided, oh, we'll just go with it. It won't be that bad. Unluckily for me and my brother, and yeah, there's pretty much nobody else on the river. That was the first sign. Second sign was like nobody in my group had a paddle, and he didn't want to pay for lessons because he's too cheap for that. So I first like my dad, who barely knows how to canoe, with his like two sons and his new stepmom, which also doesn't know how to canoe. And we decided to go down the river when it was freezing, quite literally freezing. Literally, it was like 2 degrees away from the minimum they would let us go down the river. So when we did the first paddling, me and my brother, and we went around the first bend, he ran into a tree because he was in the back, so he had all the force to paddle with. So he ran into this tree. The tree sunk our canoe while I was paddling away from the tree. He was paddling towards the tree by pushing us into the tree. The person in the front doesn't have enough leverage to stop the person in the back. So we ran into the tree, and he blamed me. But really, there was no way I could do anything about it. So yeah, and that sunk our canoe, and I got out of the boat right before it sunk. Walked over onto the shore right next to us, where the tree was, and I waited for, because my dad and my stepmom just left us there, because they went out on ahead of us, and so they eventually came back across the shore, or I found them across the shore. I was walking, and I found them, and yeah, but we got together. My brother got the canoe upside down for some reason. He couldn't, like, get it in the wind, stop it or anything. But it was upside down on some rocks, and my brother got back in, and we were good to go. I was pretty cold at that point, but I wasn't frozen yet. So, then we took that canoe down the river some more, and we eventually, we switched partners, so I was with my dad, and my brother was with my stepmom, and because my dad was had a canoe and everything. So we go down to the river, and we're good for a while, and me and my dad watch my brother go side to side, side to side, just failing at the canoeing, and it's like, this is why Jason didn't have a choice to crash, because Ryan just doesn't know how to do it. So my dad and I just laughed a little hysterically, and then we came to some rocks. I mean, these rocks weren't that bad, but those rocks stopped us from moving any farther in our conquest. So my dad had to get out of the canoe and go over and help them move their canoe, and he moved our canoe, and then he wanted to get back in our canoe before it moved, because it's just logical. He doesn't want me canoeing by myself down the river, because I don't know how to canoe, and had a bad canoeing experience already. So gets back into the canoe. He tells me, "Oh, lean right." So I lean right, and I put all my weight there, and he puts all his weight on the left, and he's, what is it, 250 pounds? I was maybe 60 pounds? Something ridiculous like that. Some ridiculous, and then he blames me for not leaning the right way. I'm like, Dad, think about it. You put all your weight on one side of the boat, it doesn't matter which way I lean. That's what I told him, and he was like, oh, well, kept on excuses. So, and we were in the canoe with all this stuff at that point, because my dad was a confident canoeer, I guess, is what you would call it. But yeah, so that was fun. So we lost all our paddles and stuff, and the paddles my dad thought were worth more than goddamn gold, so he decided that he was gonna go after them, and come on, stop it, lag, stop it, lag, stop it, lag, come on, I need to get that new mouse and keyboard. I'm actually gonna get like a $70 keyboard, because the other keyboard has just as many problems as a $70 keyboard I think I'm gonna get. And I have USB 2.0 ports, and that keyboard's for users with 2.0 ports. Shut up, Tiger! build, I should say, not his personal thing. I don't know, I can't get that. Oh, probably because I'm full on inventory. Yeah, if you can hear that yelling, that's my brother all the way upstairs. He's raging because he's losing a game of League of Legends. uh, it's sad that I can hear him all the way downstairs, but yeah. So, like I was saying earlier, my dad was going to get those canoe paddles, and he was being a dumbass about it, and everybody said he was a dumbass about it. And he was walking down the water. He was walking over a waterfall down sharp, jagged rocks. Just not the best idea in general. So when he's walking down this path, he's like, "Come on, guys, let's go get him." And well, we're all smart enough to go, "No, no, Dad, you go get him. There's no reason to risk our lives." But so we've got that. So he finally gets all the paddles in the boat, and um, I'm freezing because I've been in the water twice. I mean, I walked with my paddle to the shore, and he lost his, and he put his hand on my paddle, and he claimed it as his. So he's like, "Why'd you lose your paddle, Jason?" And I'm like, "What if I can asshole?" Because that was not me. That wasn't my fault. And yeah. But anyways, so we're all freezing, and there seems to be a campsite on the other side of the where we're at. We're on the Colorado River in like Arkansas. We were in the backwoods of Arkansas, and my dad decided it was a good idea to leave with complete strangers that were camping in the backwoods of Arkansas. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tell me 3 problems you can think of with that right now. First of all, strangers. Second of all, who leaves their kids in Arkansas with strangers? Thirdly, it was Arkansas, so everybody's picked there. Sorry, people who are Arkansas, who watch this who are from Arkansas. But, you know, it's true. Like, who does that to their poor kids? Who leaves them in Arkansas with complete strangers in the backwoods of Arkansas? Like, quite honestly, so they leave without us, and these Arkansas folk take care of us because we were quite honestly frozen. Like, I would stand next to the fire and steam would come off because it was that fucking cold out. I don't think my middle mouse button works. Yeah, my scroll wheel doesn't work anymore. Oh well. So that was a fun experience meeting 2 Arkansas folk that are camping, and we really did pass through land of the boats in the front yard and the RVs and they're nice enough people, but I mean, come on, get with the times, people. Get with the times. Really, they really were nice people, but you still don't want to be left with strangers in Arkansas. That's just a general rule of thumb. If like you can help it, like don't actively be wanting to, like, spend a day in Arkansas with a complete stranger, because, yeah, it's like going to New York and wanting to spend a day with a complete stranger. That's pretty much the equivalent. Uh, there's things that you just don't do, and that was one of them. And to this day, I'm not letting it go. Alright, so they left us, they went down the river, they decided to go to the outpost, and, well, the people at the campsite were like, well, yeah, they decided to go to the outpost, and then the ranger outpost or whatever, and apparently it was a payphone, which my dad didn't have any money on it, any change on him at all. So he was gonna call the canoe place, say, bring our car over here because whatever, and because we kind of failed on our journey. And two of my kids are like having hyperthermia right now. So that's what went down there. But after he got after he got to the ranger station, he realized he didn't have any change on him and whatever. But
Oh my
a
god.
nice another Arkansas person, yep, they decided to help us out. So he gave us change, or it was like, I think it was Ranger maybe. Yeah, I think it was Ranger. He gave us some change, or he gave my dad some change, and he's like, "Do you know how to dial that phone?" And I was like, "No." And it was like some secret to dialing that phone that I still am not aware of today. But taught him how to dial the phone, and we obviously were people out of place there. Um, but eventually, I mean, he went back to the canoe place, brought their cars there, or brought our car there, and then my dad drove around, asked the ranger how to get back to the campsite on the other side of the river. The campsite that he left us at. So he took his car, he drove around, he found where the bridge was, he went down, picked us up. Um, he told the canoe place just to pick up the canoes at the ranger station. And so we turned on the heater for nearly 40 miles, and we were still cold when we got back to the condo in Branson, Missouri. So there's a little story time with Snow Dog. But the point of the story is, water is a bitch, and don't trust people that you know. Well, but after we got the whole car thing, we were in the car, and my dad went over to ask people for directions, and he looked hilarious because he had his Crocs on with his socks that were like knee high, and his beige shorts, and his floppy hat, and his uh, what were they? And his T-shirt from Jamaica, his tourist T-shirt from Jamaica on. hmm So this is my dad, and that's the way he dresses. He's like total fashion superstar, by the way. Um, but he's probably the worst dressed person I've ever seen in my entire life. I could have more stories about the way he dresses and stuff, but I think that's it for now. I mean, I'm just gonna finish up this roof over my head because it's raining in here. my experience with water, um, don't really enjoy water so much as of now. Oh, another water experience. So I was in Cozumel, Mexico. Told my dad, I don't want to go snorkeling. That's not something I want to do. Guess where we're headed? We headed to the snorkeling place in Cozumel, Mexico. I mean, there's plenty of them, but we headed to one of them. I told him, I don't want to snorkel, Dad. He's like, oh, you'll like it. Just try it. Like, I've tried it before. I don't like snorkeling. And so he decides, all right, let's go on this boat. Okay. So I got on the boat with him because what else am I going to do in Mexico? Like, really? I was like 12, 13. So we were in this boat, or we were on this boat, and I mean, the boat had a little glass cut out of the bottom of it, so you could see everything, all the fish and stuff. But he took us out with these divers, and he was surprised to learn that I don't like diving, or not diving, but snorkeling. I don't know what it is, but I don't see the thing behind like looking underwater when we have so many like cameras that can do that for us and stuff like that. Some people like that experience, not me. I despise it. So he was all pissed off that actually like snorkeling and it's not my fault because I told him I don't like snorkeling. Just try it. I'm like, I don't like snorkeling. And so I tried it, and so I didn't like it. So I sat in the boat. So he's like, well, that was an expensive $60 soda. I'm like, bitch, please. I told you I didn't even like that. So there's that. If you tell somebody you don't like to do something, they should believe you. Have my dad, not so much. My dad just didn't give a fuck. He's like, let's go snorkeling. I'm like, fuck so snorkeling. I think every time I've had a water experience with my dad, it's been a horrible one. Come to think of it, there's no beneficial water experience with my dad. I mean, like maybe at a pool or something, but I mean, who doesn't have a good time at the pool? The pool. There we go. I got a sword finally. Um, but